Yes, today we are talking about a very, very, I don't know if I can call it contentious, but Valentine's Day is coming under the spotlight. Why? Why have you chosen this particular theme for today?
Because I think it talks so much to so many themes that cause problems in relationships, and people are going to think, yeah, well, he's just being, I don't know. I think the kind of things that they're thinking about me, I wouldn't want to mention there. Because people are very passionate about these sorts of events, right?
Okay.
About Valentine's Day and being romantic and all of that. And I want to challenge their idea of what romance actually looks like in the first place. But before we even get into that, I mean, Valentine's, apart from the usual tropes, capitalism and all of those things, I'm looking at, let's talk about what's the fundamental impact it has on your relationship.
What is the fundamental impact a day like Valentine's Day has on your relationship?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, let's explore. Firstly, what is Valentine's Day? Like, it's a day that's celebrated every year on the 14th. And we know because every single shop erupts in red roses, red teddy bears, red everything. And the thing that was 10 Rand is now 55 Rand. That's what we know.
On discount, on special.
On special. And if you buy it on Valentine's Day, it's 25 Rand,
Yeah.
But yes, the origin is from ancient Roman Lupercalia festivals and Christian traditions honors Saint Valentine as a martyr from the 3rd century, and it's evolved from religious roots into a modern day celebration of romantic and platonic, familiar and familial. Also family, you can give your family roses. How does this day impact our relationships? Let's get to your question.
I just want to touch on something interesting that I came across about the Lupercalia event that some say does influence Valentine, some say that it doesn't. One of the rituals or the traditions of that event was that the women of the village would line up on the side of the street, and men who were barely dressed would run through the street and whip them. And it was thought to improve fertility rates.
My goodness.
So that's the kind of thinking that inspired Valentine's Day.
Would you really want to celebrate knowing that?
Now, please, I'm not for 1 second suggesting that men must go out there and get whips so that they can celebrate Valentine's Day in its true original form. No, please don't.
Okay.
But also, if that works for you, then hey, this is a family show. We're not going to talk about it. So, getting back to Valentine's Day, why is it such a big deal? What does it say about us and our relationship and our quality of life and our general kind of enjoyment and how passionate we are about life itself, if Valentine's Day can be such a big deal for us? Because for it to be a big deal for me, it means that it must set something apart, right? It means that it has to be out of the norm. It has to create an opportunity for something that is not there the rest of the time.
Right.
Which means that most of the time we're not romantic, we're not endearing, we're not considerate, we're not looking to express our affection and celebrate the people in our life.
When I'm thinking of Valentine's Day, I'm thinking that was the day people actually when we were younger now, would you be my Valentine? That was the first time somebody would actually proclaim their infatuation for someone, Now it's sort of like morphed. It's sort of, changed. But do we need this particular day to remind us that you need to be appreciating, you need to be, I don't know. Is that what this day is about?
Call me a fundamentalist or an extremist or whatever you want to call me, but I believe that the moment you need an occasion to be able to remember something, then you already got a problem, right? Because why do I need something like Valentine's to remind me that I am taking my partner for granted? And why is it that my partner is so invested in being celebrated on that day that the rest of the time my efforts don't count?
That's for the woman. Why are you so invested in being celebrated on this day?
You said it, not me.
We have expectations.
But what are those expectations based on? So that you can flesh your Valentine's gifts and romantic notions and the special dinner you had and everything else with your social circle so that you can show them how special you are compared to them?
Exhibitionists.
Right, and we're competing. We're competing for that validation, for that celebration. So, like, look how amazing my life is.
Yeah.
That's that old social media vibe that just doesn't work.
Very, very true. So, relationships, what are the common things that we face, the common issues we face when it comes to Valentine's Day? What arises from Valentine's Day? Tell me.
Valentine's Day becomes another point at which we can test our partner. Let's see how special they're going to make me feel. Let's see how much effort they're going to put in. Let's see if they even remember. And how many people get into trouble because they don't remember an anniversary or a birthday. And they automatically assume that because you don't remember that one token day on a calendar, it must mean that you don't care about me. I mean, seriously?
I'm not that important to you.
The rest of the year, you're being served and cherished and accommodated and understood and supported and everything else. And because we don't recognize a specific day on the calendar, suddenly we're not good.
Is it the men that normally get in trouble for this?
Generally, I would say yes, because men are generally not inclined towards remembering token gestures.
Why is that?
Because we're pragmatists. We're practical about things, and that's why we are generally more in the moment than women. Women are more about sentiment and emotion and how you feel about things. And it's not that there's something wrong with that. It's just that there has to be space for both.
And I think it's also very important to, to remember that women will associate the date, the day, the time, the weather, the everything with the it doesn't mean, if a guy does not remember, does not mean he loves you any less or he values you any less.
Yes.
Right? Because that's what I'm saying. It's usually the men that get into trouble for forgetting.
And the reverse is also true.
Yeah.
Just because they do something extra special on Valentine's, it doesn't mean they love you anymore. It just means that they don't get into trouble.
Ouch. You know what?
Either that, or I think they've been so strained between the two of you that they're thinking like, okay, here's my gift. Maybe I can finally get back into a good books.
Yeah, get out of the doggy box.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just amazing because you get in trouble for a woman saying, but this is our 6-month, 10-day, 2-hour anniversary and you didn't remember? I'm not that important to you.
How can you not remember what song we were listening to on our third date?
Poor guys running through like 180 k's an hour, like what was going on there, But yes, why do we associate this day with proving ourselves to our partners?
I think because we live life in the shallow end of the pool of life, so to speak. I often say that a lot of people are just dipping their toes into the water. They're not even like immersing themselves into life itself. And when you celebrate things like Valentine, shoot me if you want to, but no, don't literally. Like, please don't. There's crazy people out there these days. But literally, if something like Valentine's has that much impact on you over the entirety of a year of life, then you need to seriously take stock about what you're doing with the rest of the year. Are you going through the motions and life is tough and routine and schedules and responsibilities and priorities and goals and all of that? Yes, that is there. How does Valentine's Day make that go away?
What does totally immersing yourself in your life look like? How do you know that somebody is immersed in their life, present? I'm not even going to say the word authentic. I got in trouble. Forget that word. It's out. So how do we know that we are immersed in this life?
Do you notice things daily, or do you only notice things on special occasions? Do you have something every day, or every other day at least, where you are like really immersed in something that's amazing, something that gets you to sit up and take notice and pay attention, or do something different, to try something new? Or are you waiting for special moments and specific times at which you're going to do that? And that's what I refer to as like waiting for permission, right? We wait for permission to do things and to express things. And Valentine's Day is one of those days where we wait for permission to be romantic. Come on.
Have we been conditioned? Is this part of the conditioning,
Oh, you're triggering me today.
Yes.
As always. And I'm expecting more triggers on this topic. So let's go for it.
Yes.
Conditioning, if you do believe you're being conditioned, it just proves that you are not living with awareness. You're living you're in autopilot. To be conditioned, you must lack self-awareness.
Okay.
So if you feel like you're conditioned to Valentine's Day and birthdays and anniversaries and all of that, and that's the way society does it, and that's the way we've always done it, and that's why it's important, then you don't have a hell of a lot of critical thinking going on.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a hell of a lot of critical thinking going on, it means that you're going to be less aware of the subtleties and the nuances, the small details, the important stuff that really sets things apart.
Yeah.
And when you do that, then you're automatically going to take for granted the moments that are actually amazing and special. And that's how you're going to be looking forward to Valentine's Day.
Oh. So this actually hits home, because you're thinking back to, when we were younger, and how it was like Valentine's Day is the day when you profess your love for somebody, or your secret admirer. The fun was in giving something to someone and they didn't even know who. It was a secret Valentine,
yes.
But yes, just looking at how this has been or evolved from the time that it started, the romantic connection or the association with romance became established only in the 14th century. So before that, what was Valentine's about? It was literally that fertility celebration that you were talking about. That was what it was about. And now it's turned into such a, I think it is a commercialized thing. I think that people benefit when we go shopping and we want to prove ourselves, and at the last minute we're spending like 500 Rand because we forgot.
Mm-hmm. If you're a dope on a rope, someone's going to sell you soap.
Wow.
We need to own our space. We need to own our presence, right? And yes, things are going to be capitalized, and it's going to become capitalistic kind of focuses and things like that. But the only reason people do that, I can make money out of these things, is because there's someone willing to pay. So we can't blame the capitalists for this.
Yeah.
Capitalists thrive on what we're willing to pay for.
So what is it about our relationships that we need to validate? Why is it that on this day we want to do that gesture and do it so big, and then next year we have to top what we did last year?
It's because we're competing all the time. We're comparing.
Yes.
And that's the thing, right? If you're sitting there dipping your toes in the pool, right, you're comparing the people you're sitting beside. Because you're not in the water enjoying it and really splashing about and having fun. You're waiting to see who's going to take the next step first. And if people are going to think you're brave for taking the next step, you're going to take your foot and put it in the pool and not just your toes. That's a shallow, pardon the pun, but it's a shallow way to live.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the problem, is that people don't live, they don't immerse themselves in life. Like I keep saying, life is waiting to be lived, and people are waiting for the right day to live it.
That's powerful.
Why? Everyone, I'm pretty sure almost everyone these days, they have these timelines that pop up on their phones, right? From either Google Photos or your Android Gallery or something or the other. It's telling you, or OneDrive even these days, telling you that, hey, in 2010, this is what happened on this day. And then you look at it and think, oh my God, time has gone past so fast, right?
Yeah.
And that's like just a light moment. But think about it. Time has gone by that fast.
Very true. And what are you waiting for? So this version of love that everybody has, because love is messy. Relationships are messy.
Yes, but what makes it messy? And why should it be messy? Because you're figuring things out together. It's an adventure, it's an exploration, it's a discovery. But if you're expecting each other to have things right all the time, then you're not going to get messy about things. You're not going to have strong discussions and strong viewpoints that you want to challenge each other with, and then find a way to strike a balance in it, because at the end of it, you're working towards something that is more important than that, than being right in that moment, than being celebrated in that moment, or being romanticized in that moment.
And that's it. Some people need to choose whether they want to be right or you want to be happy.
Yes.
It's so important to be right all the time.
But the problem is that some people are happy when they're right. And then it's like, you are compromising my happiness by always trying to prove me wrong.
I have this theory, and I'm going to make myself vulnerable here. And yeah, I have a bulletproof vest on today. It's fine. If, I call it the sky is purple theory. Okay. To some people, they can't see it any other way. So if they tell you 1 plus 1 is 31 and you can see that it would mean the world to them, you can't disagree with this person. I'll be going, 31, it's 31. And if they say the sky is purple today, I'll be like, purple, it's purple. For my peace of mind, for my sanity.
Right.
Because I cannot. There are some people who absolutely cannot accept. It is soul crushing. It is defeating. And you know that your answer, your challenge to this person would completely undo them. What's wrong with that?
Okay, let me ask you this question then. If you have to agree with someone that 1 plus 1 equals 31,
yes.
right, to save your sanity,
yes,
would you still agree with someone about the same thing if their belief in it being 31 creates problems for you?
Absolutely not.
And that's the problem. It's easy to palm off something and to just like shrug your shoulders and say, yeah, okay, whatever you think, no problem, it's your life, go for it.
Yeah.
Until what they are deluded about becomes your responsibility to deal with, because then it has impact.
Yes.
And that impact, who determines whether it's fair or unfair? And where does love feature in that? Like, oh, I love them so much, I don't mind if they're going to ask me to look after 30 other things or 29 other things, because they need that 29 extra things to believe that 1 plus 1 equals 31.
Absolutely. Why are we so afraid to disagree?
Because we have a low sense of self-worth. Because being agreeable and being liked is more important than doing something of purpose and something of merit and of value. And that's why we celebrate mediocrity. And Valentine's Day is about as mediocre as you can get when it comes to being romantic.
Yeah.
And you can be as elaborate as you want, as expensive as you want. It's not going to change the fact that you're celebrating a token gesture.
Yeah.
So how well you can celebrate that token gesture suddenly becomes a reflection of how romantic you are? Come on. You need to be deeper than that.
I think depth is a very big conversation.
Because
a lot of people would like to appear as if they are, like, they say it's not that deep. They don't even contemplate the depth of that. Like, what is deep? Are you actually in touch with yourself? Like you keep saying, we are living in the shallow end in so many ways. But they say people can only meet you as deeply as they've met themselves.
True.
Right? But then what if they're afraid to meet themselves?
But here's the thing, right? As a starting point, I agree. That is absolutely correct, right? People will only meet you where they're at, right? So if I have a certain depth about me, I'm going to meet you at that point, and vice versa. But if it's someone you claim to care about, and if it's someone that you claim to be making a life with, why do you stop at that? Why aren't you trying to inspire each other to look deeper, to get more profundity, more profound meaning out of life, and more joy and more fulfillment and more simplicity also? Why is it that you don't have a common kind of greater purpose that you're serving that drives both of you to want to contribute towards each other's development towards that? Now you're talking romance.
Yeah.
You know why? Because now suddenly something that appears mundane to everyone else suddenly has special insight and special significance to you and your partner.
What role do your parents and your observation of their marriage, how does that affect, the way you would conduct yourself in your marriage?
What's your point of reference? Your parents were working hard and raising you, so they didn't have time for Valentine's Day, so you think that they weren't romantic? They were romantic enough to bring you into this world.
Ouch. Bad visual. Bad.
So the point is, be careful about what you're using as your point of reference that you think is like, that's the gold standard. It isn't. Romance is about your connection with life. It's not about your connection with Valentine's Day.
Exactly. And I feel like we strive. Like, I think people are also unconscious. It's like, I didn't see this being done, so to me, it doesn't come naturally.
Yeah.
So you have expectations on both sides.
Why should it come naturally when the only time something comes naturally is if you're genuinely curious about it? If it comes naturally, then what you're saying is that I was conditioned this way in my upbringing, so I'm living by my conditioning. Is that what you consider coming naturally? No.
Emotional intelligence is such a huge thing. I think couples need to go for this before they get married even.
The biggest contributor to the quality of your relationship is about how well aligned your emotional maturity is between the two people. Like we said in I think probably last week or so, that two dysfunctional people can get along like a house on fire. And they'll probably burn the house down as well, right?
Yeah.
But the point is, between them, that's amazing. So if your alignment with your partner is based on what tokens do you guys celebrate together, that's not necessarily emotional maturity that's equal. It's also going to be about how it is that you both could be equally superficial. He's looking at how his friends are perceiving his lifestyle with this trophy wife he's got on his arm, and she's looking at how her friends are perceiving her lifestyle with this sugar daddy she's got on her arm.
And what gets lost in between that? In between the token seeking and the validation?
Well, for starters, I'm hoping and praying that you don't have children if you have that kind of a life. And secondly, and yeah, that can be judgmental, but there's truth to it. And secondly, what is lost in that is substance. Because eventually materialism gets old. There's no shortage of people that I've come across who are mega wealthy, but it's like, okay, so you've got everything, now what? And every now and again you see on social media, like, what do you buy someone who has everything?
Indeed.
Right? So when it comes to Valentines, how much of that is about your ability to be able to prove how much someone means to you relative to what materialism you can shower on them?
So I'm a big fan of the show called Dubai Bling. Now I'm going to trigger you properly.
I'm glad I haven't even heard of it. I consider myself saved.
Listen, okay, this is basically, there's a company called Forever Rose. Do you know what's a Forever Rose?
No, but I'm, again, happy that I don't.
Okay, so a Forever Rose lasts forever. Okay. And Ibrahim Al-Samadi is one of the creators. He owns actually a shop in Dubai where they sell the Forever Rose, and it lasts forever. This is the ultimate gift that you could give someone, right? And the thing is, in one of the episodes, he's meeting a girl for the first time, and because he owns Forever Rose now, he has to be the example of what romantic looks like. So he gets a helicopter to basically fetch her and fly her off to this location to meet him, where he's got all these roses. And then when she steps off the helicopter and he's like, okay, at dinner, how was, so how did you find the helicopter ride? And she says, it was okay. I've been in bigger, planes, so it's not. Yeah. And he was completely crushed. So what happens when your gesture that you see as huge, this person is like minimizing it? What does that do?
You see, you just confirmed exactly what I was saying just now about how your sugar daddy and your trophy wife and all of that is just completely shallow, because your gesture is going to be seen relative to what else I've had, right?
Yes.
It's not going to be seen about what did it take for you to make that gesture for me.
Yes.
And Valentine's Day becomes one of those competitions to see who did how much. How fancy was your gifts and your experiences and your dinner and your romantic picnic and all of that nonsense. It's always a comparison. It's a comparison to, did someone do more than this for me before?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, it was nice, but like I didn't really feel special.
And also, if between each other you are competing to see who did more for who.
Yes, and it's part of your scorekeeping. And then like people, especially the ones who work in corporate, they know how to keep a scorecard of each other in marriage, right? What's your KPIs?
Yeah, oh my God. Imagine that. Sit down. We'd like to discuss
your KPIs.
Your KPIs.
This is the second year in a row that I had to remind you about my birthday.
Yes.
And it's the third year in a row that you didn't exactly remember that special day in between all the other days.
Yeah. And you didn't meet your quota of 95 desserts in 30 days. I will die.
Yeah.
But that's just the thing. The scorekeeping in relationships. What does that reveal about you as a partner?
You're more invested in what you need from your partner than what you're actually doing for them or giving them or creating together with them. And there's your problem right there. You want more joy in your life? Look at who you're working with, not who you need things from.
Very important. Working together.
Yes.
It's just, you find that the Forever Rose lasts longer than certain relationships.
Hey, these days jewelry from Lovisa lasts longer than most relationships.
I did not know I didn't know you'll take it there. But I think it's so important for couples to come together. How important is premarital counseling? What are the elements? People say you must get premarital counseling. On that note, what does it look like? What should it look like?
I think you should consider premarital counseling if you genuinely don't have like role models around you who you look up to in a substantial way, not just like superficial way, in a substantial way that gave you first-hand exposure and insight to what a healthy relationship looks like in marriage. If either one of you that are looking to get married didn't have that, then you need to do some premarital counseling so you can adjust your expectations and recalibrate how it is that you're going to show up for each other.
Because that's so important. They say you don't know someone until you're living with them.
And that's the thing, right? Even if you have those healthy role models around you, you can get into a relationship, and because of the unique dynamic that the two of you experience after you get married, you won't be prepared for it. You won't be equipped for it. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a compatibility issue. It just tells you that there's that much more for you to become aware of and to explore and discover and find alignment with.
Yeah.
But we're wanting compatibility these days. There's people who are married for 30, 40, 50 years and they still don't have that compatibility that people are looking for when they just get married.
But that's what the society punts for. Are you all compatible? That's the question. What do you have in common?
Right. And the reason they punt for that is because someone can make money off you paying for a test that you can do, a psychometric evaluation, to determine what kind of a lover are you and what kind of a partner are you. And
didn't do those tests, I'm just saying. Never even Googled it.
We have lost all sensibility when it comes to relationships because we're so fixated on token gestures. Where's the depth? Where's the substance? Where's the grit? Where's the reality of it? What do you have going for you in your relationship with your partner that confirms that the two of you are figuring life out together? And one question that most people can't answer, they actually look at me like I'm stupid when I ask them this question, is like, what's the purpose of your relationship? What's the purpose of your marriage? Is it just to procreate and raise kids and get them into college so they can get a good job and then you can go into retirement? There has to be more than that. And every single day, everyone says, oh no, cherish every single day and, carpe diem and all of that. How many people actually live it?
Because, if you compare our grandparents, relationships of the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, where there was no social media, nobody cared really about Valentine's Day. There was no sort of, like you say, token gestures or opportunities to show off what you're doing. And those marriages lasted.
Yes.
Stood the test of time.
Why?
Why?
Because they weren't flooded with this belief that, hey, you don't have to. You deserve better than this. And people look back on it now and they say, yeah, but that was abusive, this and abusive that. But that's all nonsense. Something uncomfortable now suddenly feels like trauma.
And that's my next point, is that growing up, we never had the words abusive.
Yes.
Or trauma. When I said the word stress to my grandmother, who's 91, she was like, what is stress, Nazia? It's life.
Yes.
A challenge. You confront it, you get over it. The next one is waiting for you. Are you going to be stressed? And she was 91 and she lived her life so simply, so rich, so full. And you looked at her and thought, the only thing she wanted to do with this day and age was the soapies on that Star Life whatnot. That's the only connection she had, But she would look at us and say, you're all too busy.
Yes.
She would say, you are too busy. Stop being busy. And, the richness of that was that, just pause. Why are we in the fast lane? We're never appreciating where we are because we're always looking at the next best. We need to go here. We need to do that. We need to get stuff for Valentine's Day. After Valentine's Day is done, then what?
And that's exactly it. Is when you live from occasion to occasion and special day to special day, you lose sight of everything in between.
Yeah.
And those special days are going to become that much more pivotal in your relationship just because you've got nothing else going for you. You have to have a lot more going for you than the special days.
So if somebody says it's a deal breaker, you forgot Valentine's, you didn't make enough of an effort, and I don't know how to feel about you.
Well,
it happens.
It does. I'm choosing my words carefully because I want to say something. If someone says that to you, consider yourself lucky for finding out now rather than later. Run for the hills and find yourself someone who's going to live with more substance.
Wow.
Seriously, I mean, let's look at this practically, right? 365 and a quarter days in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day, anniversary, birthday, 3 days.
Yeah.
Pretty much the main ones, right? And nowadays you've got Mother's Day and Father's Day. Father's Day, everyone just ignores because, like, fathers, they don't matter. But Mother's Day, everyone must celebrate because you know how much mothers do for us. Another distortion of social perspective, but let's work with it. So now we've got 5 days. What are we doing with the other 360 and a quarter days? Just dealing with stress, solving problems, paying bills, routine.
Yeah.
Routine dulls your excitement and your appreciation for life.
Absolutely.
So if you have a routine that runs the rest of the time, and you've got a weekend routine, and you've got a weekday routine, and you've got a month-end routine, and you've got a year-end routine, you're boring. And then you're going to need Valentine's Day to spice your life up.
That's also a statement that people use often. What are you doing to spice your relationship up? What are you doing to spice up your life, basically? It's your responsibility to spice this up, right? Why would we need that if you were living your life, you know, connected to or aligned to who you are, what you want, you know what makes your partner happy, you guys are synchronized in that. Life is not meant to be melancholy and, you know, and I feel routine does that.
Everyone wants to celebrate their struggles. Like, look how difficult I got it. That despite all the difficulty, I'll show up for you. I'm here for you. No, come on, man. How often do you see your partner, not your struggles? How often do you see your partner, not the token gestures and the token celebrations that you guys do from time to time, and the date nights and all of that? This date night thing is just like, ugh.
You know what, Coach Zaid? I'm going to pick your brain because you've mentioned this before. That when people suggest date nights, you like gag. Why? What is that?
Date night is supposed to be something that you want to do, not something you have to do. And the way people approach it is that we have to have a date night because, you know, we get lost in life. If you're getting lost in life, you've got a bigger problem to solve. It means that you are losing yourself to the present moment. And if you're losing yourself to the present moment, you're not noticing all the milestones your child is going through besides the one that you think is worth celebrating. And then when they grow up, and like we touched on this yesterday in another conversation about gap years and that, when they're ready to start like leaving the nest and finding their own way in life, you don't even know what it is that you can expect from them because the only thing you know about them is that they either got good marks or they didn't. How sad is that? Where's the connection? Where's the bond? Where's the real kind of exploration of life together and learning things together and sharing experiences together? Where's the thing that only the two of you do? Where's all of that? Oh no, he's been my Valentine for the last 20 years. Come on.
I think I needed to clarify that as well. Is that, you know, when you are doing it correctly together, whatever correct looks like in your relationship, there's no need for that because every day feels like that.
Yes, and then you'll make time to want to go and have a coffee or have a dinner quietly or whatever it is because you're yearning for that quiet time, not because, hey, it's our date night.
Yeah. It shouldn't be a requirement or something imposed on you as a consequence of our behavior.
Life is too unpredictable to have that kind of rigidity in how it is that you're trying to make it work. And to be adaptable and resilient to life, you have to be able to flow with the punches. You can't wait for the right moment and then set aside a time in your calendar and all of that. What are you prioritizing then?
You know, everybody's looking for the perfect image of a relationship. And I said perfect image.
Yes.
Because it's all about how it is portrayed versus what actually happens behind closed doors. And Valentine's Day just gives people that opportunity to bolster up their image.
Yes.
You know, but what are the makings of a good relationship? Give us the ugly of a relationship.
Well, here's the thing, right? If you have some sort of image in your mind about what your relationship should look like, you're not seeing your relationship for what it is. You're seeing it through what you think other people will think of it if they were looking at your relationship.
Right.
And that's not as complicated as it sounds, because most of us are looking at ourselves relative to what we think others will think of us if they see us. And And that's why we have so much self-loathing and self-deprecation and this negative self-talk and all of that.
Yeah.
It's not because of what we think of ourselves. It's because of what we think of ourselves relative to what we think others think of us. So when it comes to a good relationship is about seeing each other, not about seeing what you think others will think of you if they saw you together. What are you doing together? What are you building together? What is the essence and the substance of your life together? And whether you're living in a little pandoki or you're living in a mansion, it doesn't matter. It's about what are you two doing with that reality together. Like they say, you can cry in a castle or laugh in a hut. Most people choose to cry in a castle.
Very true. And that was my next question. Are people actually choosing to start off in the pandoki anymore?
No, because these days, being financially stable and having a good job and all of that's like minimum criteria to even be considered, right?
Prerequisite, yeah.
Okay, so then what are you building together? Are you building each other up in any way? Are you supporting each other in any way? Or are you expecting each other to be like a fully formed person, complete with everything in place, so that you don't have to, I don't know, do something that put in any work for them because you've got so much going on for yourself? Then you're not looking for a relationship, you're looking for convenience.
It's funny you say that because the people, I'm curious, the people who start off and build together those relationships versus the relationships where the person's already made it.
Yes.
I mean, what are the differences in the two?
I think you just described why it is that our grandparents' relationships were that much more resilient. They started with nothing together and they built it up together.
And they always said that. You know where we started? We had nothing. We shared one loaf of bread for 5 days. And you're like, wow. And they're like, yes, and you ate from there. So it's like, that's the question. Because there are couples where, generational wealth now.
Yes.
Because they say hard times, create tough men. Tough men create easy times create weak men, and weak men create tough times.
Yes.
Our generation's ready to handle the generational wealth.
Talking about generations, generational wealth is a curse. Right? But talking about generations, I came across something interesting the other day. I came across this infographic that talked about the names of the different generations, like the Gen Zs, Gen Xs, and all of that.
Yes.
No one talks about the silent generation.
Who's the silent generation?
The silent generation are the people born, I think it's between like the late 1910s to the early 1940s, which is the people that were born during wartime, World War I, World War II. And they're the ones that ended up being the social change agents and the ones that ran movements and became the inspiration for the baby boomers. And that's the thing. We don't see what we're supposed to be influencing or inspiring, right? We only see what it is that defines us.
Yeah.
So the silent generation, they were silent because they grew up in turmoil. And then the struggle they had was to create something valuable out of all of that turmoil. The ones who came and inherited that became the flower power generation. Pacifists. Stood for nothing, fall for everything, and just completely against the system. And that, again, is what leads to downfall. So striking a balance between that is what's important. So when we talk about the generational gaps and where we are and what we're giving our children and all of that, we don't have balance because we're defined by our time. And that's the lack of self-awareness. If you're defined by the times in which you live, then you're not influencing that time. You are being influenced by that time. And the influences, the real ones, are the ones who implement social change, not the ones who are going online and telling you that the forever rose is the next big thing that you must get in your relationship.
Yeah. You cannot be defined by your time.
You can't be. If you are, then what's the purpose of being human? Because the essence of being human is agency. Is about being able to choose and influence and inspire and be inspired. And that's how you shape the time you're in. You don't live because of the time you're in.
That's very important. That's very powerful. And that's what, you can literally see the differences in the value system.
Yes, completely. I mean, look at how Gen Alpha is now struggling. Gen Alpha is trying to teach Gen Z, and Gen Z is assuming that they know more than the millennials, and the millennials are thinking that they can do a better job at parenting than Gen X. Meanwhile, Gen Z, through objective study, has been proven to be less cognitively developed and capable than the millennials. So we're going downhill, not uphill. We're not improving, we're declining. And that means Gen Alpha, they're going to inherit a space that is so dysfunctional that they're going to have no choice but to try and make it work. Are they equipped for that? Or are they going to create a whole lot of new problems?
And, I spoke to someone who's a manager of an IT department recently. And they're taking interns.
Oh.
And this guy's telling me, I have become a parent. I have to ask first, are you okay? Then I have to, issue the instruction. Then I have to make sure that he understands. Then I have to follow up if the instruction was followed. And if not, are you okay again? And he says, what is up with this generation? What is up with them? Because I feel like I'm a parentified manager.
My favorite statistic is always about Gen Zs, that 40% of employers in America had to phone their parents because they were unhappy at work. Like, speak to my mom because I'm not willing to deal with this.
That is so deep. That is so deep. Emotional intelligence.
Now take all of that and apply it to Valentine's Day. What is it saying about you if Valentine's Day is that pivotal in your life?
Shallow. Very, very shallow. Not even touching the surface of where we need to go. I don't even know.
How's the water temperature on your little pinky toe?
Oh my goodness. It feels like work if you have to ask somebody that.
And just stepping into the shallow end sounds so daunting, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, I don't know what's there. And I don't know how I'm going to feel about it. And who's going to be there to support me? And what am I supposed to do when I'm in there? And will I be able to get back out again?
Exactly that. And there's this visual that comes to mind. This guy that's like, help me, I can't swim. And the people are like, it's
stand up.
Shallow, stand.
Stand up.
Just stand. You'll be fine. You're not going to drown, So I am for that, totally. I think that this is a very insightful conversation we've had today. I just want to tell you that the Forever Rose collection, they also, this is how far they go. It's dipped in gold, silver, and platinum. I just realized that.
So you can have a Forever Rose that's more forever than the other Forever Rose.
Yeah. Exactly that. Imagine having the rose and the relationship is over. You're like, wow, the rose outlived the relationship. But yes, Coach Zaid, Jazakallah khair for today. And happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, thank you. Now my day is just complete. Now I'm ready to face the rest of the year.
What is your parting message to our aspiring Valentine's Day celebratees?
The most romantic thing you can do for your partner is to see them. Like, genuinely see them. Don't see their flaws and their strengths and their weaknesses and all of this nonsense. See them and be inspired about something amazing that makes them who they are. And celebrate that, right? And when people feel seen, when you feel seen, how don't you light up? Is there anything more romantic than that?
Absolutely. So I hope that you have a really good Valentine's Day. And to our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. We're back next week, same time, same place on the Chat Network, only on Eastwave FM, with more soul-searching topics with Coach Zaid. Thank you so much, Coach Zaid. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.